Today is the day. Premiere Pro finally came out on mobile. And from what Adobe was saying, this is no Premiere Rush. It's not a port of Premiere Pro. It's literally Premiere Pro on the iPhone 17 Pro. And yes, I absolutely went for the Master Chief look. You just have to. As a full-time video editor, it would be really nice to be able to at least do some of the work on my phone. I'm gonna be doing a lot of flying the next year for different events, work, leisure, and being able to start an edit on my phone, get ahead of my work, maybe even do a full edit on my phone would be huge. So today, we're gonna find out, does it live up to the hype? All right, so earlier in the month, September 4th to be exact, Adobe went ahead and announced that they'd be releasing Premiere on iPhone. It's bringing pro quality video editing to your iPhone. Made for creators on the go, with Premiere on iPhone bringing the same creative power that filmmakers, designers, animators, and YouTube creators use to produce hit commercials, iconic music videos, etc. This is such a bold claim. As somebody who edits videos and knows the limitations of mobile, this is bold. And when I initially saw this, I got pretty excited because I know the capabilities of these new phones. Like, these new phones are so capable, but you know, trusting Adobe is a hard one. Premiere on iPhone is intuitive and uncluttered, no watermarks, no distractions. The no watermarks thing is definitely a clear jab at CapCut. I mean, if I'm being honest, I have been using CapCut more and more as a video editor. Not for the full edit, but some of those AI features, just some of the features in general in CapCut are insanely good, and I don't know how Adobe has not done them yet. If you're familiar with Premiere's desktop experience, you'll recognize the multi-track timeline with vibrant colors, dynamic audio waveforms, blah, blah, blah. And then they went into a handful of like specific things that the app is capable of. And it looks like they're really harping on their AI features here. So Adobe Podcast, if you don't know, is amazing. I have used this to save so many recordings from some of my clients. Like, maybe they messed up and they recorded their voice over video game audio or desktop audio. This does a pretty good job at canceling all of that out. All the assets you could ever need or dream up, clearly like harping on the AI features of Adobe Firefly, which again are amazing, like Photoshop AI features, mwah. It has really leveled up my video editing. And yes, it's Photoshop, but if you're a pretty good video editor and you want to do some cool effects, you hop into Photoshop. You then throw it into After Effects. You then throw it back into Premiere. Like, having all of this in one platform, one app, is really helpful. And then they, you know, harp on once again the fact that it's on mobile. Like, this is a big deal. So since I'm on the iPhone 17 Pro, I opted for the 512 gigabyte version. First time ever, I actually went for more than the base amount of gigabyteage, mainly because I knew that this app was coming out. I was like, okay, I need some more room for these big files that I work with. I'm gonna take some of the footage that I've already recorded for this video, throw it on here, and I'm gonna start the editing process. And you guys are gonna watch me, a pro video editor, edit on my iPhone 17 Pro with the new Premiere app. A lot of buzzwords right there. All right, so I have a few unique use cases as a video editor that I really need Premiere on mobile to succeed in. One of the two is log footage. So this entire video, anything being recorded on my A7C Mark II, is log. I like shooting in log. It just gives me, as an artist, more control. The footage, I can just play around with it more. It looks better. If you're a professional, you know you know. So can Premiere on mobile actually do log footage? And then on top of the log footage, I'm recording in 10-bit 422, and it's a H.265 file. Windows on its own has a hard time playing this media. Luckily, Premiere does an okay job with it. It is a little laggy, even though they say they keep adding updates to make it better. But can the mobile version play this? So that one is kind of a double whammy. Like, can it do a really high quality recording, and can it do log footage? I don't even know if I can import LUTs. We're gonna find this out together. And then number two is, can it deal with multi-track audio recordings? So if you have ever edited for gaming YouTubers, or if you've ever used OBS Studio, you know that you can add multiple tracks to an MP4 file. That's the layman version of the science, the technicalities behind it. Can it do it? It says that it can do multi-track editing. Does that mean that I can import a MP4 file with multi-track audio? Let's see, because if neither of these work, I'm kind of out of a video. All right, so we are starting off with downloading the video footage from this camera that is log H.265. I already went over all of it. I'm not gonna bore you guys anymore. And now I'm gonna download the OBS Studio MP4 recording with multi-track audio. So it looks like they both went into my Photos app right here. You can see this is the log footage. It's just like some B-roll of me. Honestly, the fact that the iPhone Photos app can play this, pretty good. That's giving me hope that Premiere on mobile can open it up. This one. So since I'm on the iPhone 17 Pro, I opted for the 512 gigabyte version. This one plays audio. So that means, because I'm pretty sure I have my mic track on the second audio track, so you know, it's at least processing all of them. Next up is gonna be opening up Premiere right here, and I'm gonna be hitting the plus icon on the bottom. And let's start with the log footage. Let's open this up. Damn, okay, you know what, it opened. Now, I wanna figure out how can I convert this to Rec 709. So again, if you're unfamiliar, log, it looks really washed out, and the easiest way to get it to look normal, and normal equals Rec 709. Rec 709 is just colors, like these colors, you see them. Easiest way to do that is to apply a LUT. I'm using a Sony camera. Sony has their own LUT, and I use that all the time. It's just easy. So it looks like we have looks right here. These are like predetermined filters, which are shit. In no world am I ever gonna actually use one of these. But there is this adjust button right here. Okay, so there's a lot of different settings. This is actually pretty good. I mean, the fact that I can get this nitty-gritty of control is very exciting for me. Oh, nice, and there's that button right there where I can apply it to all of the clips. This is another thing that I was concerned about. On desktop, I can somewhat easily, like copy settings or apply it to an adjustment layer, and then it's on all of my clips. So if I've already edited a whole video and I've decided I want to change the colors on everything, it's relatively easy on desktop. I'm happy that they thought about that. But it doesn't look like I can do a LUT. Let me Google this real quick. All right, I think we are out of luck. We are literally just superbly out of luck. So I'm just gonna mess around with a lot of these settings, see if I can get it to not look like log footage anymore. And that's literally, I think, as good as I'm gonna get it. I mean, you can't even deny, like that looks all right. That looks pretty good. But that's a lot of work just to get log footage looking like Rec 709. I mean, literally, I can just apply a LUT. It's so easy. Why didn't they include LUTs, man? All right, so for my first test, I'm gonna say that was meh. You can make it work, but it still sucks. Okay, number 2, we're gonna import the multi-track audio. Okay. So it looks like it all put it on one audio track. But I do know that down here, we can do extract audio, and it's just one audio track. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I'm ever gonna use this app. I mean, the AI stuff is cool. Like, I'll show you guys. We can add in, like, we can generate an image. Angry man holding Premiere Pro logo. It can't even do this, man. It still can't even do text. Adobe Firefly, what are you doing? I guess I was going into this video like really hopeful. I was really, really hopeful. And it wasn't crazy what I was asking for. I was asking for LUT support and multi-track audio from an MP4 file. And I understand that this may be a little more intricate than I think it is, but these are really simple things that would allow me to just start cutting up a video and then push it to Premiere. I'm not even gonna test out pushing it to Premiere because I don't even wanna touch the app right now. I know I'm being like a little dramatic, maybe even a little petty, but in that original press release, like they used a lot of language that really hyped me up, and it made me think that it was gonna be better than Premiere Rush. Unfortunately, it feels just like Premiere Rush, and I think I'd rather have Premiere Rush than this. It sucks that Adobe Firefly can't even do text yet. You see some of these big AI labs just absolutely killing it. I mean, this week they announced Sora 2, the video generation from OpenAI. And then you have Google VO, you have Nano Banana, the image editing, which in all honesty, I know I was glazing Photoshop earlier and it's generative AI, but I've been using Nano Banana through Google Gemini more recently. I don't even think I've opened Photoshop. It's just a little disappointing. It's a little disappointing because Adobe should have been the leader in all of this, and they aren't. They let CapCut like absolutely kill them on mobile, and even on desktop. I mean, dude, the amount of people that I know that are starting to get into editing, they're editing on CapCut, and some of the stuff that they're producing, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Now, Premiere, After Effects, Photoshop, they are unmatched in a lot of ways. I'm not gonna stop using them. I just want to see Adobe dial in and make some big innovations. Not even innovations, I just wanna see them level up or get to the level of where everybody else is. It's unfortunate because I am a huge Adobe fan. I've been using these products for 10 plus years. I love them, and I'm never gonna switch from Premiere Pro. I've tried using DaVinci, every now and then I use CapCut, but I always default to using Premiere. I love it. I just wish they'd do better. So yeah, that's a video editor's opinion and testing of the Premiere mobile app. I know I didn't really do much in it, but it was because those are my use cases, and if I can't even start with the footage that I have, I can't do the whole edit. So maybe I'll revisit it, maybe I'll try to edit a whole video next time, but that's that. I love you guys. I also love you, Adobe. Just like, you know, I'm like your dad, just kind of nudging you in the right direction, telling you what you need to work on, some hard love. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave some comments. If you thought I was too rude or that I didn't fully explore this app, let me know. But I'm gonna be honest, I explored it.